Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the last Worldwide Wednesday. Thank you all for joining the International Women of Blockchain event. I'm really excited that you guys are here. We made it to week 5. Even though our intro said week 4, this is actually week 5. March has got to be extra, so definitely, we got a lot more content for you guys today. It is the International Women of Blockchain event. We've been running this event since March 1st, and we're going to run it all the way through the 31st. Very excited to bring this to you guys. It's been long awaited because we know that if anything, there's a lot of women in this space, and it's very much important that we celebrate them for what they're bringing and how they're representing themselves. We are very excited to present to you our last Worldwide Wednesday today. And as you guys know, our Worldwide Wednesdays always gets popping. It's always interesting. We have a great moderator, Tam. I'd like to bring her up. So Tam, come on up.
Hey there.
Good morning, Tam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. All right. Worldwide Wednesday, the last one. It's a little bittersweet. I've been having so much fun, learning and getting the chance to interview and speak with some of the most brilliant women in the space. And I'm kind of I'm like I said, a little bittersweet. Now I'm sad to see it go. But luckily, we have our Discord. So I am continuing to stay active there, and I hope everybody else is as well. And, we're also going to be bringing more content to the Discord, bringing better programming, all these things, and we'll continue to build this community from Discord. So I'm excited, but, a little sad that this is coming to an end.
Yeah, me too. But there's something to be said about the fact that we were able to put on an event for an entire month that featured nothing but women in this space, right? And
Absolutely.
To everyone that women are represented, and as well as give other women the opportunity to show that representation and know that they want to be onboarded. I've had so many individuals who have reached out to me and said, man, thank you for this. This has been fantastic. I've learned a lot. And a lot of people want to build upon what we're doing right now. And it is historical in nature. It's something that has never been done before. For the entire month of Women History Month, we've been able to present to everyone everything that's blockchain related when it comes to women. And we've been having some great speakers grace our stages.
Yeah, absolutely. And some content and really valuable content, being able to have the conversations, with these change makers in this space, these women who are change makers in this space. And you're not going to really get that opportunity, anywhere else. We've been speaking to women in every single industry. We've had people in the real estate, Web3 space, obviously, NFT Web3 space, people who are bringing social activism, to the Web3 space. So it's it's been a phenomenal ride, and I am really like I said, I'm just a little bittersweet today because I started out this conference also like never having done this before, and I've just had so much fun. I've learned so much. I've made a lot of connections, and I'm excited to see what's next. And so, did you mention the POAP that we had?
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. For all of you that have attended and that have signed up for this event, all of our speakers as well, we do have POAP to commemorate this event for you. And so we want you guys to go ahead and join our Discord and click on the IWB IWB NFT section channel within our Discord and click on that, and you will see our POAP. Also, through Eventbrite, we are sending out the link as well. So today, this morning, we send out 2 links. We send out one for the POAP and as well as one for the metaverse experience that we had yesterday. Our sponsor, Copper Seed Safe, actually created a metaverse world that we were able to enjoy yesterday for a better part of 30 minutes. We were able to actually go on a slide that he created in that particular world. And it's really cool. It's the red ribbon that's going all the way to the sky. You'll see 2 of them. Please take part in that. And then another thing that you need to do is once you get into the world, press 1, 2, and 3 and see what that does. It's really exciting. And I'm really grateful that Dean was able to present that to us and give us that experience. It's actually a pretty good experience. We had a lot of fun. It's always good when we're giggling, right? As adults, we're like online experiencing something and feeling like we're school age kids, right? So I
Absolutely.
on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. I wasn't able to make it to the Copper Seed Safe metaverse experience yet, so I can't wait to go check it out. I'm checking it out probably later on this evening when I get a chance. So I'm super excited, and I definitely want to give a big shout out to Copper Seed Safe for sponsoring us, seeing the value in everything that we're bringing to the space here with women in blockchain and supporting this international conference, because there are women all over the world who are in this space, involved, creating, making changes to the things that we've seen traditionally, and they're innovating. They're thinking of really solutions to a lot of the issues that we face today. And shout out to Copper Seed Safe for making sure to sponsor and seeing the value here.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Dean. And when you guys go into the world that he created, you'll be able to see what Copper Seed Safe can do. As we all know, copper survives a lot of the environmental impacts, right? Like fire, water, and so much more, right? And so it is a secure way to securely put down your seed phrases. Just make sure that you store it in a secure location.
Right.
When it's secure, what I really mean is that not secure from the environment, but really secure from another human being being able to tap into that and stealing that copper seed safe seed phrase that you created. So it was a great experience. Got to see even our own BWBC logo and IWB logo at the top as well, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That definitely making sure you're utilizing Copper Seed Safe if you're out there, guys, because you got to protect those keys. Not your keys, not your cheese. That's they say. Not your keys, not your cheese.
Exactly.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this entire month we've been able to present to you with a lot of information relating to blockchain and the women that are in this space. Next month, there's a few events that are coming up actually next month. One of them is the March on the Capitol. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, both Nija, myself, Nicole, as well as Cleve Mesidor will be at the Capitol, and a bunch of other ladies and gentlemen in this space who are representatives of the Black and Latino community. And we also ask our allies to join us as well. Our intention is to make sure that Congress knows that this space is being created by us as well. It's not just a space that we happen to be, stumbled upon, but it's a space that we're cultivating. And it's important for them to understand that it's not scammers who are in the space, it's real life individuals who are being impacted positively in this space. And we're going to show up and represent and be able to do that march. So I encourage everyone to join us April 4th for the march. You'll see a lot of people that you've been hearing from right there on the Capitol, the steps of the Capitol.
Another event that is coming up that I will be in attendance to, but I had already purchased my flight ticket and everything to go, so that's why I won't be there. But my heart, and I'm there with you guys in solidarity at the Capitol. But as many people might know, the Bitcoin conference, 2022 Bitcoin conference, is happening beginning April 6th through the 9th. And I will be in attendance, so I'm hoping that if there's anyone there that is looking to connect, that you look out for me. You won't be able to miss me. I will be with the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. They have a booth there, and they also are a huge supporter of the Black Women in Blockchain Council. And so we're linking up, and we're planning to have a good time. Also to learn some information. So I know that there are people that plan to go, and if you do, just look out for me. Tam, I'll be there, and ready to connect.
Yeah, I know that's going to be really exciting. Bitcoin Miami. I know a lot of people are excited to be able to travel to Miami, and Miami is one of those places that it's always interesting. And
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I wish I can go. It would be nice to be at the beach. And actually, it's probably a good thing that I'm not going because I will be at the beach and
In the conference. Listen, I'm trying to fight that temptation myself.
yeah, right. I mean, here in Miami, like I don't know, it just gives you a different vibe. So, I'm great that I'm happy that you guys are going. I know it's going to be a successful event. And this time around, they're being cognizant about showing representation because I know even our sponsor, Block, will be sponsoring some events there. And when I spoke to
Yes.
them, they're also cognizant about the fact that they need to make sure that there are representation when it comes to speakers for blockchain and other cryptocurrencies. So I'm excited for the event.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very key, that they continue to push the inclusion and diversity. And so that's a huge part as well. Ties back into the march on the 4th on the Capitol, because that's very much what you ladies and gentlemen and everyone that's going out there to do is to let the government know that there is representation here. They can come to our communities, women, Black people, brown people, anybody of a different different background, and find the information that they're wanting and needing in order to make decisions about those communities. Right, come to the communities where the education is, where people are just as educated, if not more, than some of their white male counterparts on the issues for with blockchain technology, how the issues of the world basically can impact their communities through blockchain technology. So and like I said, different solutions that will come about with blockchain technology. So come to the community that you're looking to service, and get the educators there in that space to help you bring the education that you'll need that will help further legislation and things like that will help those communities. So we know what's best for us. Is essentially what it is. We don't need other people making decisions for us, in a I guess would say an ill-advised attempt to protect us. We're educating each other, we're learning, we're growing, we're contributing to this space just as much as everyone else.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing that I feel as well. We are having individuals that are doing a lot in this space, that are being advocates of us as people, us as women in this space to show representation. And also in Congress, we do have some individuals there as well who are cognizant of the fact that we're here and who are trying to push the right type of legislation to safeguard, our involvement in this space, and also let people know that it's more than just this negative connotation that's attached to it. There are real people experiencing positive things in this space. And I encourage you guys to be outspoken to your Congress people and let them know that, there's real humans behind those anonymous pseudo anonymity that we've created for ourselves in the creation of Web3. That we are here and we are finding value in this space. And regardless of, the different things that are happening negatively, there are several positive things that are happening. And for instance, for the Black and Brown community, we are experiencing something that we've never been able to experience before, which is we've been able to participate on a level without restrictions, without any barriers, and been able to reap the benefit of that. So I think, when Congressman Sherman had said that, he needs to do something to help the Black people to secure, or whatever he said. As a Black person, I'm going to represent myself and say that, you know what, we don't need the help. We don't need the help. I think we're good.
Right. As a fellow Black person, I could definitely say the same thing. I think that I'm doing my due diligence and, like, encouraging others to do the same. And especially, like, when I'm looking for, where is the history on that supporting other issues, and it just seems like it was not there, like, not in true efforts before. So I'm okay right now. I got this. Like, let's how about work on some of those other ones. I'm all right over here. So I think as long as we continue to push education in all of our communities behind cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, we will affect the change that is necessary through our governments, because our knowledge will lead to action. We have to bring that knowledge and action gap a little bit closer, because if we want things to change. So the first step in that is education. You have to know what the problem is. You have to know what the solutions are, and really understanding, like, this blockchain technology in a historical, like, socioeconomic context, like, is valuable. So as long as we continue to uplift those in our spaces around who are encouraging education, like this platform, like BWBC, like IWB, we will forward the education, move forward education, and then affect the changes that are necessary. But the protection, like, we can, that comes with education as well. So just, these sometimes Congress people, they say they have our best interests at heart, and I believe they do at times, but this is really a space that is about your own sovereignty, and so it really is about you educating yourself, and so that you don't fall into a lot of the scams and pitfalls that are in this space. So the best thing they can do is to encourage education and to support those initiatives that are pushing education in this space.
Yeah, exactly. And, given that we do travel in the space pseudo anonymity, I'm just curious as to why he felt that he needs to secure us or save us from this space, right? Like, who's going out there and saying, "Hey, you know what? I need help," right? Nobody that I know of is coming out here and saying, "You know what? I've been targeted as a Black person, so therefore I need you to implement some kind of legislation to prevent that," right? And honestly, there's been reports that said that the Black community have benefited tenfold from this whole environment, this whole space. So I'm just curious as to what made him assume that he needs to do anything to save us. And that's something that I'm interested in finding out. And if we get a chance to talk to him on during April 4th, then it would be something that I look forward to having a discussion about, which, I probably won't get that chance, but, it is something that he felt he needed to disclose. And as a Black person, I want some explanation, because you can't just blanketly say something like that.
That's a very blanket statement. Yeah.
Yeah, a blanket statement because it's like I'm really curious to see where the targeted um what is it, stats that he saw that made him feel like he needed to save us, from this space. Because when we're traveling in this space, we don't entirely know who's who, right? It's a series of numbers, it's your public address. So how is it that he's able to pinpoint that Black people are the one that needs saving in this space is really what I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. This another thing about this space that I found, and not just for like myself in furthering my education, because as you know, like I'm not a techie person, I'm not a math person, I'm not even an economic person. All right, I'm an observant person, and I read a lot. And when I'm reading and what I'm observing isn't making sense, it leads me to more questions, and then I'm curious enough to find those answers. And so that's like really what my call to this space has been. And so when those types of like blanket statements are made, it definitely raises my eyebrow, because I'm like, what does that actually mean? Like, you're saying a lot of things without actually saying anything valuable. And so I think that this space has further cultivated that for me, just really trying to get to the bottom and asking more questions. And the same has happened for instance, like my sister, who I've been introduced into this space, and a couple of my friends that I've been introducing to the space. They all come to the kind of same conclusions, and then they start asking other questions of like the things that our politicians and things are saying, for instance, about the monetary system and how it actually works and things like that. It makes you like really question, and I believe that is the beginning of where we're really going to start to see the truest potential and like the most long lasting potential that there is here in this blockchain, is when we start to ask these questions and hold each other accountable. And then blockchain technology allows us to actually hold each other accountable through transparency in a way that we've never had before. So that's super exciting for me to think about that. I know some people, I start to geek out and nerd out on those things. I'm like, what? Like, you told me that I'm going to be able to actually verify what someone is saying, who someone is. Like these types of things are just they're really invaluable to our world, and when politicians make such blanket statements, it definitely signals to me at this point that you might not really have a clear understanding of what the space is. And so that right there, it begins to, again, raise my eyebrow and like look for the solution to this, like, and with some of the march that's happening, some of the people that are attending the march in DC. I know a big part of that is to also highlight some of the other individuals that might be running for different offices who do understand this space. So because we understand that this is the future of our financial markets, of our technology, this is the way that companies are going. It's very important that we have people in positions with the power necessary to affect and help us change the things that need to be changed along the way.
Yeah, and it's very much important, right? Especially with the recent executive order that, in light of everything that's going on, has basically sent a signal that says, you know what, cryptocurrency isn't going anywhere. It's something that we need to understand. We need to see how much we can comply with it, right? As a nation, and also create our own, because the government is looking at their own CBDC. And so, when someone starts to give that blanket statement about, they need to save Black people from cryptocurrencies, then I'm really wondering what's the intention, because there's several other things that you could save Black people from, right?
Yeah.
There's
A
redlining,
long list, actually.
there's voting rights. There's so many other stuff that are pegging us in real life that Congress people have the power, and however, they have not done anything. But for some reason, this particular scenario or situation is the ones that they want to harp on. And I'm like, are you not reading the room? Because if you're reading the room, you will realize that of all the people that are advocating for this, it is the Black community. And so when
Hmm.
you choose to go against the Black community, you're taking a hard stance in the wrong direction. And so,
Absolutely.
I'm just, I hope someone he knows is watching and he can take back that comment, but just understand that, the people that are in tune and paying attention are definitely going to, take action. They're not going to let that comment slide. We are being aware. We're aware of a lot of stuff. Sometimes we just choose not to react.
Yeah, choose not to bring it up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're aware of a lot of things, like you said. Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no problem. No problem. Yeah. So, the Congress people just know that, if you want to enact something, Black people are here. We're loud. We loud in a good thing. We're vocal, right? We don't shy away from voicing our opinion. And if you need it, there's several of us that are representing in the space that are able to provide you with the knowledge and education that you're looking for. We've always found that this space has been like a safe haven for us because we're able to navigate and participate in several situations or different use cases without restrictions that we historically have been succumbed to. Even as homeowners right now, we're still going through, so many different crap that's out there, from appraisal to, having our home sell for the right prices, and all these things, that you guys as Congress people could potentially prevent certain things like that from happening or enforce the laws that you currently have in place, but yet you have not done anything. So if you're coming here to try to disrupt and prevent harm to Black people, make sure that you're doing things intentionally from the good place, and make sure that you're talking to the right people. Because from what I'm hearing, we don't need any help. We don't need any legislation right now, and we don't need to be saved.
Right.
We are adults. There's a lot of us in this community that are adults, and we're smarter than you may assume. So yeah, I just want to put that out there because the more I think about it, the more insulting it is. Because there's other communities here, right? Don't want
Right.
that I want to save Asian communities from cryptocurrency or Spanish communities, right? So, yeah, um, Congressman Sherman, step away.
Right. I think it's also something to be said, like, about this space when there are a lot of people who traditionally were holding, like, these high paying tech jobs who are now in this space, like, right. So it's not that there's education in this space that's lacking. The biggest thing that seems to be lacking is the education going out to, like, the rest of the people who actually aren't in the space, who really aren't deep in and taking a deep dive and looking into it. So I feel like, the better time and resources would be spent to bring education to the masses, right? About blockchain technology and about cryptocurrencies, and specifically about Bitcoin. Like, I came to this space through education of Bitcoin and understanding how it presents a lot of solutions to the problems that we currently face with fiat money and our current financial system, inflation, all these things that are indicative of the problems that we have, not just in the space here in America, but on a global level, since it's all designed after the Federal Reserve. So, there is a lot of things that we can do to bring that type of education forward, and then which would hopefully, help people to understand how then to move about this space. Because once you find out there's issues with like, what you currently have going on, the second thing is like, okay, now I know I have a problem. So what are some of the solutions? And then, okay, now I have the solutions. How do I enact these solutions? And that's when it gets down. So, okay, now you need a wallet and you need to protect your keys and those types of things like that. Right. So I think that a lot of times they're starting from the wrong position. That's the problem. Like, you got it. You're not looking at the holistic historical problem, right? You're seeing something in front of your face, and you're not asking the question of how did we get here. That is one of the biggest questions I think in this space. And once you come to understand how we got here, right, you can see both the benefits and you can see the benefits and how it will solve a lot of the issues that we have today, but also how there are also still issues in the space. Like, so let's not forget about that, right? There's still issues with the space that are going to require development, that are going to require creativity, and more people to be educated so that they can bring those creative solutions to this space. And that's what I am passionate about. That's what I want to see happen is, the encouragement of education from a historical standpoint to what we have now. And then, like I said, just going down that road to see, okay, we need new solutions. And that's how I believe also that's how with the president's order, that's how he will begin to see the different different legislative bodies becoming educated and finding ways to actually utilize this technology to help people. All right. So you'll have to become educated first. And we definitely need a lot of education in this space.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's the thing that we as a community are doing, right? There's, clusters of different cultures who are onboarding their own people. I know the Spanish community are doing a great job, and we saw that, right, during this event where we had like a whole Spanish 1 hour segment, right, in Spanish. And so there was a lot of artists that onboarded all across the different Latin America, as well as Spain and in other places that joined together and were able to collaborate and create a community of a subculture of this ecosystem that specifically caters to them. And what they were doing is using it as a way to educate others within their communities, right? And then we know within the Black community, there's a lot of individuals that are providing that education, that are involved in this, and know, right, that education is key. And so this is honestly the first. I want to kind of call it an industry now, right? I mean, at some point,
yeah.
industry. But this is the first space that has really said, you know what? Education is very much important. In order for you to navigate safely through this space, you need to be educated. And so we have people who are on the ground, who are providing that education, who are allowing people to tap into this space, but in a secure way by providing them with the fundamentals first, so that they will be able to navigate and understand the space. Because we know that in order for you to latch on and stay in tune with this space, you need to know the foundation. You need to know about decentralization. You need to know why. The why. The why is very important.
The why. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The why is the biggest portion of like all of this. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like if you, because I know a lot of people that look at, for instance, cryptocurrency market and like, why would I want fake digital money? Like, like I have real money, right? They're not understanding the whys of inflation, like the whys of what inflation actually is, where it came from and how we got here and how the money you have in your pocket is continuing to devalue, or the why of international markets, like, right? Why is a reason to have money that can be used on an international market? Like, so there are a lot of whys in this space, and you have to ask them, like, you have to ask them for yourself. Sorry, you have to ask them for yourself and be able to, then you start to begin to see a lot of different value in a lot of the ways that people are utilizing this technology. Data, like why data? Like, why is it so important? All these whys that you can literally just go on a list forever and ever. And literally blockchain technology, Bitcoin is the answer to your problems, is the answer to your questions why. I told a friend that recently. I was like, all your problems in life can be solved by blockchain and like Bitcoin technology, and like, and I can't go into it because it's literally a whole like college level, I feel like, study area of study that you could undertake, and you still wouldn't take like even the tip of the iceberg that is the blockchain technology. So just come in, get a little bit and get involved. That's another thing that I think is really important, is encouraging people to get involved. Understand that this space is growing. This space is developing. We're in that process right now. This is the best time, is right now, right? Don't hesitate, educate and get in. That's my thing. Don't hesitate, educate yourself and get in. You can move with caution, but educate yourself and get in here, because you have something. Just like you are unique to this world, you are unique to this metaverse. You are unique to the blockchain technology. It is missing something without you. So get here, get educated, and let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going is so true. And there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. Remind me about, the experience, having people who are in this space, who are enthusiasts, now being able to go into, the in real life, right, to different communities and being able to show up and represent, because that's very much important. But to harp on the education is very much important in this space. As you guys have seen throughout this whole event, we've brought in women from all kinds of aspects of blockchain in this space. The blockchain is the foundation that's leading and creating a lot of things that we will start to see. We got an introduction to a woman who has been working with medical research to incorporate NFTs and blockchain into that. I mean, I think that was fantastic, right? So we are
It was so cool.
use cases at this point. We were introduced to property, real estate, right? And the tokenization of, that whole process, right? And we're seeing people who are using blockchain for real world use cases. We're seeing artists from all across the globe who are using the technology to build a better life for them. We had one person who lived in, South America, who's now traveling to Germany because of being in blockchain. She's furthering her education because of being in this space. That's a testimony to the reach and the capabilities of this technology. And to have people say, I need to save certain people from this is ridiculous to me. As well as to have people say, we need to restrict this. Like, what are you restricting? You're restricting all of those good, positive things at this point, right? So you don't want that woman to be able to travel to Germany and have other opportunities because that's what she got from being in the space, right? You don't
Right.
want breakthrough, right, to happen because that's what's going to happen from being in this space. You don't want to give us alternatives to to participate in real estate, and also, knowing that your face glowed, during that, we know that the younger generation are just not buying. But if you're giving them incentives and incorporating it into something that they're familiar with, then you start to change things. Something old now becomes new because you've incorporated something that's latest, that's of importance to them, and now they're seeing it in a different way. So you're siphoning innovation, you're siphoning opportunities, right? You're siphoning the community that we can build on a larger scale, because all of this, because people are involved in this space, right? And we're a huge community. It's not just the Black community or the Latin. This is the ecosystem. This is a
This is the global community. Absolutely. Absolutely the global community. And even just with the speaker on yesterday, who I was able to catch a little bit, who is creating the NFT collection for her sister, right? Who's a phenomenal artist. Like, I really like the art that I saw, but who had been normally traditionally shut out, based on her being neurodivergent and nonverbal, right? So it's really creating a way for everyone to participate. And as you said, anyone that is attempting to protect us or that is attempting to, really moderate, like, is really what they're doing is they are stopping the beauty of this space. Like they're literally holding our progress, right? They're holding us back. And this space is not going to reward those who are interested in holding other people back. It's not going to reward you, right? The reward here is bringing yourself, your full self, your authentic self here. Like maybe your authentic self in the metaverse is a dragon, and then but it's also a brilliant mind who understands blockchain technology and is creating a new application to layer on top of the Bitcoin network. Like, there's so many different levels, but this space really allows you to bring all of that here. And it really touched me on yesterday with that artist, because when she was speaking about how the whole collection is comprised of, a lot of neurodivergent artists, and just how disabilities can really hold you back. And me personally having experience, that, like, with a disability, one that's not seen, but it did like, affect my life. Had I had this type of technology, when I was younger, thinking of how my life now would be different. Right. And so it's an amazing space, and anyone that is, again, trying to hold us back is really holding back progress. And if you think about it, the communities of the world who do not adapt technology, right, who do not adapt technology and build upon new technologies, like they literally would not survive very well, right? So it's very crucial, and it's critical that we continue to innovate this space and allow, the elements that make it unique: sovereignty, the ability to, what am I trying to say? The ability to have the pseudo anonymity. All of these things are unique to this space, that they come together and they're important, and they're part of this space that we cannot, we can't deny. Like, we can't hold it back, because if you hold that back, you hold back the whole entire space. Is the way I see it. So definitely, absolutely what you're saying. I just agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll take a break, is the fact that we have a lot of individuals who are running for office who are from this space, right? People who are advocates of this space. So you're going to see a whole huge shift about, the application of people who are now in charge, governing, certain states, who are legislative bodies, who are mayors, because we have the mayor of Miami, who's an advocate of cryptocurrency, right, of Bitcoin.
Right.
And the whole event that's about to happen right now, I'm sure he's ecstatic, right? And that's giving opportunities that's from this space to the locals, right, for them to experience it. And I know you and we had an opportunity to be on NBC Universal for Florida, and they asked us that, how will this space impact the Black community? And giving that, a lot of people in Miami are being introduced to this from these events, right? From the buzz that's coming from these events, and that, BBB, Black Bitcoin Billionaire, they do provide local information as well, and education as well, especially Naija. That's her goal. She's about to go on this 41-day tour, okay, where
Absolutely.
41 cities. Actually, I believe it's more than 41 days, but she will visit 41 cities. And those are the cities that she wants to implement a Bitcoin bank, right? Which is phenomenal. And these are cities that are impactful to the Black and brown community all over the US. And so it's going to create a revolution. It's going to change a lot of stuff. And with that bank, there's going to be education. There's going to be onboarding. There's going to be so many great things that people are going to be empowered. Empowerment is very important.
Absolutely. So with that, we are going to go ahead and go to a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be back with more conversation on Worldwide Web3 Wednesday.
Bum, 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 bum. All right, all right. So, Tam, got a question for you in our chat. Could you
Okay.
recommend a blockchain book for beginners? So, for me, I would say one of the book that you may need to read is A Blockchain for Dummies. I know the title is kind of, dumb, but hey, the book actually does go down and break it down in a good way, and I have recommended it to other people. So that's out there, Blockchain for Dummies. I believe the woman's name is Lawrence. So look out for that. I think that's a good one. Do you have a suggestion, Tam?
I do. I'm Googling the name really quickly because I want to make sure I got the name right. It is a yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It's called Adopting Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. It's a super easy book. I'm going to grab this Amazon link here. Give me a second. But adopting blockchain and cryptocurrency, it's a super easy read. I want to say maybe it's like 20 pages. But what the author, he's actually a Black Bitcoin billionaire, contributing author, and he is one of the moderators in that group. And he wrote this book, and it does a really great job of explaining like what blockchain technology is, and how it's important to cryptocurrency. And he does it really briefly, like I said, in maybe 20, 30 pages at the most, and super easy read. That's how I came to understand that. Oh, okay. So not just Bitcoin is not important, but the blockchain is also very important, to this. So that's my recommendation. And you can find it on Amazon, and it's by Fred, I believe Fred Brandon is his last name. So Fred Lee Brandon is the author. Super easy read.
Okay.
It's one of my faves.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So hopefully that was helpful, and you were able to, get two books out of it. And that there are other books. There's The Internet of Money, which is by, I forgot how to pronounce this person's name, but that's also out there as well. And we may have a PDF copy, but I'll see if that's something that we can share as well for that. But there's several different books that are out there, and I think if you start with those three, you will definitely be on the right path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you know what? I think it's time for us to move on to the next segment. We do have a speaker that will be joining us today, so I'll let you take it away, Tim.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yinka. So today we are talking about just more Web3 and what it means to the world. So today to showcase her project, I'm going to bring to the stage Zoe with Lap Lap.
Hello, thanks.
Hi, Zoe. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks. And you?
I'm well. Great. Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and leave the stage. And why don't you go ahead and give us an introduction and
Oh,
introduce us to your project?
yeah, thanks for that. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, let me check my contact. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me start my speech. And firstly, thanks for the invitation of IWB and everyone here to listen my speech. My topic today is girls help girls, and I would share my story in crypto too. Yeah, and as the topic is that I want to encourage girls to be strong and confidence to influence others. Yeah, strong and confidence. Firstly, let me introduce myself to you. My name's Joy, and I'm from LabLab, which is a Defi platform. I'm in charge of the Asia Pacific business, and I'm here today is hope that to invite strong women join in and influence others people through my career. Actually, it is our career. Yeah, that is my wish. Okay, let's move to next part. Here is my question I usually think about, and maybe you could ask it to yourself. One is, does women get more attention and resource than before? Two is, who did that and how did it change? Three is the world free of prejudice against women? And four is, what does a woman face in different situations? And five is, what could we do now? Just from now. Here is no answer. I just give my idea to you guys and hope we are on the same way. Yeah. And okay. I'm a little nervous because I can hear any voice. Yeah, so I'm just speaking. Okay, next, I would like to share some famous women I really admire from my heart. They both do a lot of efforts for their career, like Mary Julia, she is for science. Jane Goodall is for wild animals. And Florence Nightingale is for nurse. And so many women here in our history, they are amazing. I and they are really well known and influence lots of people. I'm one of them. Actually, I'm talking here is because of them in some way. Yeah. And I believe if the environment we live large, it changed, must some woman changed it. Some woman must did something. Yeah, I believe that. And actually, we are talking too much histories and opinions about women. It's time to tell you guys about me and my correct story. There are 4 words to describe why I enter crypto. Open mind, inclusive, trading, and fail. Yeah. Because normally a woman gets a less grade than men. It's because she made more efforts. Because the physical strength, the family responsibilities, the sensitive emotions, too much things like that. But in crypto, women could be easier to do anything, to express, to write, to influence. As for return, we get it is because we did something right. For example, if you are good at investment, you just need to choose project and invest it in your way. It's totally up to you. Yeah. And if you want to launch a project, just think how and why and when, and then just do it. Some people would stand with you. Next, if you are good at creation, just pay or write or others. I believe anything could happen in Web3. Yeah, that's my idea. Yeah, I still talk too much about crypto and opulence. Back to me, like I mentioned before, what I'm doing in crypto is about Defi. People usually think boys are better at games, because the speed of fingers, the strategy of playing, the desire to win in fighting. And yeah, I do really meet female players in LabLab, really. But I'm still trying to attract female players to join in LabLab, get honors and awards. So I did it. I did the activity, the event. Please check the picture. It's about a woman, and I hope more and more female players could join us to be a star, to influence others by the way you are good at. Yeah, and this is the activity we are going on in. Players can get money from it, and I believe that if you join us, you will not only get money but also your confidence benefits for long term. Yeah, and lastly, I want to introduce lab in Brainy. I hope guys could join in and keep up with lab. Firstly, lab is providing a fair and equitable platform for women to enter crypto world. Yeah, it's an easy way and it's very fair enough to get in. Secondly, LabLab want to guide more female users to discover and participated in the latest DeFi projects and start their play to earn journey. Yeah, because people can earn money from DeFi, and we hope female players can guide more people to join in the journey. Yeah, that's my idea. Lastly, LabLab is committed to change the unique status of the disadvantaged groups, so that every woman could show their unique charm and you can express anything you want. I'm very looking forward to the women joining us and playing with us and to influence more people. Yeah. Also to earn money. Yeah. Maybe sometimes it's the most important. And to write the history in DeFi. Yeah. That is what I want to say. And thanks again for Tom and the IWB and everyone who's here listen to me. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Zoe. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. I know that you had to join us from somewhere in Asia. Can you let us know where you are joining us from?
Yeah, I find the activity on Twitter because we are preparing the event about women, but we are not on it. And I saw it on Twitter and I contact you and
Yeah.
you let me speak for it. I'm very appreciated for that. Yeah.
No,
I
thank
also
you.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I also want to invite you guys to join us to speak for women and let more people to know the power of women. Yeah,
That's
even
so
in crypto, in Web3. Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of power in this space, and I believe you're in. Are you in Vietnam?
I'm sorry.
Where are you in Vietnam? What country are you in?
Yeah, I actually am in Thailand.
Thailand.
Or
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So women are everywhere. Women of blockchain are definitely everywhere, and we're showing up and we're representing. So I
yeah.
want to thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you too, and I'm so nervous. Just
That's okay. You did a fantastic job, and we're it's been a pleasure getting to know you as well as being introduced to Lap Lap. So for those of you, if you want to follow Lap Lap, go ahead and follow them on their Twitter. I posted a Twitter username on in the comment section, so make sure you follow them. And also, I do believe that you guys are having a spaces soon talking about women empowerment. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'd like to invite you guys to speak with us too. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. We would love to participate. Thank you very much, Zoe. Really appreciate it. I know it's probably late at night or early in the morning for you, so we'll let you get back to sleep.
Oh, that's very nice. And thank you. Yeah, maybe it's time to say goodbye and see you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Wow. We got people all the way from Thailand joining us. So that's fantastic. And so I hope you guys were able to get an introduction to Lap Lap and you're going to check them out. Really excited about that. Thank you very much, Zoe. Really excited that you were able to join us. Now we have a really exciting segment, and I'll let you take it away, Tam.
Thank you, Yinka. So we do have a really exciting segment next. We are going to speak with two of the ladies from. We have a few questions for them, but they're the few of the ladies from. I'm sorry. Chain analysis. I think that's how you say it, or chain analysis. But we're so happy to have these ladies here. They're going to tell us a little bit about their project, and then we're going to go into
Well, we got Tam frozen there. We'll go ahead and move her, and I'll go ahead and introduce Yanni and Julie, who are recruiters from Chain Analysis, and we're very excited to have them come and join us because it's very much important. I mean, we talk about the amount of jobs that are in this space. Now you get to hear it from the women who are leading the charge and onboarding a lot of individuals from Web 2 into the Web3 environment that they're building. I'm really excited to have them. Yanni and Julie, thank you very much, ladies, for joining. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll come back for the Q&A.
Great. Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here and talk a little bit more about Chainalysis. My name is Yanni. I'm a senior recruiter and team lead here at Chainalysis for our US go-to-market business. And Julie.
Oh, thanks, Yanni. Thank you so much for welcoming us to this exciting podcast or live stream. My name is Julie Montrose, and I lead university recruiting here at Chainalysis. I joined the company 5 months ago, and I'm super excited to be here to tell you a little bit more of what we're up to.
All right, awesome. Thank you, ladies, for introducing yourself. I'm really excited about this, and I have a few questions that I'm going to bring up. But first, a lot of people have been wondering, what does it take to get into, these blockchain jobs? And people oftentimes assume that it's all developer jobs, right? That they need to learn how to code, etc. Can you ladies shed some light on that?
Yeah, happy to. So yeah, the world of Web3, of the digital asset space is quite broad. We need folks in every single position that a normal or traditional finance type company would need within the SaaS space. So I focus on our go-to-market business. That's everybody who isn't a coder specifically. So our sales folks, pre-sales, investigators, economists, everybody who can be involved in making sure that we're building the best SaaS platform in the space, and really are excited to help people bridge the gap between traditional finance and the blockchain and crypto space. Julie focuses on our early careers here at Chainalysis as well, and so she's really instrumental in helping us bring in interns and make sure that we are tapping into all levels of talent here at Chainalysis.
Awesome. All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? Now that we have like some wonderful recruiters like you ladies, have some questions about, the process, right? So how did you get started with the career in blockchain or crypto?
You want to start? Sure, I'll take it away. Although Yanni's a veteran here at Chainalysis, but so I just was curious about crypto. Like my husband and I, we started buying cryptocurrency, I guess maybe going back like 3 or 4 years. And it's like there's so much buzz about this space just out there on the internet and everywhere you turn. And when I started my job search, Chainalysis was one of the companies that came up with a job that was, suited to my skill set. So I was super, super excited. And during my interview process, this is like the only job that I was excited about because I wanted to enter like a new frontier of technology. And then after my interview process, I got the offer. So I think I accepted the same day. So I was so pumped about it.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. And similarly, I think like a lot of people, you kind of just get an opportunity and you take it and you see where it leads. So similarly, I joined Chainalysis through my network. I knew our first recruiter that was hired here at Chainalysis from a previous position. I saw her posting on LinkedIn. The more and more I saw the different articles that she was posting and the type of work that Chainalysis did with a really big mission behind the work that we do, it really spoke to me, and I was excited to kind of go down the crypto rabbit hole, as they say, learn more and more about it. So I'm definitely not an expert in this space, but looking forward every day to hearing about how it's evolving.
Well, you know what, you're in the right space because, no one is an expert, right? Everyone is an enthusiast and we're all learning as we go because we know a lot of things can change. So I'm really excited that you ladies are here. But first, we mentioned chain analysis several times, but for those of the individuals that are watching this and not really sure what chain analysis is, can you please give them an intro?
Yeah, so Chainalysis, we're a SaaS platform within the blockchain space. We are the segment creator for blockchain analytics. Essentially, what we do is work with both public and private sector organizations to make sure that they have all the information they need to become part of the digital asset ecosystem in a safe way. So we've been attributed to supporting and helping governments take down large illicit activity, so terrorist financing groups and drug trafficking rings, through the investigative work and technology and data that we have to support those investigations. And then on the private sector side, we also work with financial institutions, crypto exchanges, anybody else who wants to be part of the space and wants to have more understanding about the compliance and regulation that goes behind it.
Now that's very much interesting because I know a lot of people probably already heard of chain analysis, but didn't really, get a deeper understanding until today. I know that you guys also help provide stats, right? And so whenever there's online publication that want to quote with accurate information, they often quote chain analysis because of your ability to cultivate those stats.
Yeah, definitely. Research and working with our economist team is really a big part to Chainalysis as well, making sure that there's clear information out there, well-researched information out there about what's really going on. So I'm happy to hear that those blog posts and articles have had a wide breadth and have reached you as well.
Yes. All right. So now people are wondering, how do I get into this space, right? So we're going to have a series of questions relating to that. So one common hesitation that we often hear from professionals is that they're interested in crypto or digital assets, but lack the experience that comes with it or what they assume are experiences. How did you overcome those experience gaps, and how can they as well?
Sure. Yeah, I'll speak to it a little bit from the university side because a lot of the candidates that I'm speaking with don't actually have a lot of experience in blockchain or crypto because this is a new emerging space. And if you take a wide lens and look across university campuses, blockchain education is not really mainstream at this point. And that's actually one of the things that we're trying to do as a company is promote education and careers in this industry. But when I do speak to students, they always say that, hey, I'm really interested in this space, but I don't really have a lot of experience. And one of the things that I really coach them on is like, maybe you do know more about the space than you think. So for example, if you have any projects that you worked on in school, any research papers that you've written in the DeFi crypto blockchain space, like these are items that you should certainly add to your resume. And if you don't have professional experience in this industry, another great way to showcase your interest is include it on your resume at the bottom in the interest section, because like we'll be looking for that as well. So although we are open to candidates coming from various industries such as tech and finance, that gives it that little extra push, like, hey, this person is really interested in this personally as well.
Awesome. So it's good to know that, people can add what they're already learning into that process. So one piece of advice that I've heard for job seekers in this space is to demonstrate their passion for the technology and the innovation in this space. Does this resonate with you? Do you need to be passionate to work in crypto, or do you need to show that you're already in this space?
Yeah, I think we're at a really exciting kind of point within the industry where you still can get in with that, with very limited knowledge going into it. So during the interview process, we always ask, why is Chainalysis a good fit for you, or what excites you about working in this space? And so I think the biggest thing is coming to any interview for any company that asks a similar question with research and with a good answer to that question, because I'm sure we're not the only folks that ask it. In that time, you're given the opportunity to really showcase what is it about the space that excites you and that motivates you. And that really translates well to your first interview through to your final interview. I don't think that folks need to be really in the weeds within the industry to still find a role here at Chainalysis or similar companies. We're still at a space where we're willing and eager to train, to teach, and to get folks up to speed where there might be some knowledge gaps.
All right. That's good. That's good to know. So you guys heard it. It's still new. Tap in, bring your authentic self, right? And show up as you are, and be ready to get your hands dirty, because a lot of these companies out there, in particular Chainalysis, they know about this space, right? They're not individuals that have no idea what's going on. They know about the space. They're getting their hands dirty. And so they understand that not everyone is going to come with 20 years of experience. There's only going to be limited amount of experience, but they want you to show up as who you are. This is fantastic, because we've been telling people throughout this event that you don't need to come with, the technical aspect of understanding the space. You don't need to come with so many different areas of understanding. You just need to come as you are. Even with a basic understanding is enough, right? To start helping you cultivate. So with that, if someone is coming in fresh, right? Do you guys have like a training process to get them acclimated to, the ecosystem and blockchain and what's needed in order to fulfill their jobs there?
Yeah, so we have a really robust kind of training and onboarding program. We're really dedicated to making sure there's continued enablement as well throughout someone's career here. But from day one, we will have both a company onboarding where you learn everything about all the different departments here at Chainalysis, but then also role-related training. So we have certifications that are everything from cryptocurrency fundamentals through to reactor and KYT specific trainings and certifications. And these are the same exact certifications that are available to our customers and to anybody who's interested. So if you're at home and looking for a certification program to go after, these are things that are publicly available and led by some of the best trainers in the space. So it's a really exciting way for people here at Chainalysis to know that everybody has a foundation, everybody works on those courses no matter what team you're in. And it gives you a good way to ramp up in the least amount of time possible.
Awesome.
Sure. And quickly add to that, in addition to the fundamentals certificate that we ask all employees to take, we also have product related certifications. So if you're working on specific products within our product suite, we certainly have training opportunities to get certified on those, and all of those come with a badge that you could proudly share on your LinkedIn and resume as well.
Awesome. Now, certification from Chainalysis is a good certification, so you definitely want to share that because everybody knows about Chainalysis. As Yanni and Julie had mentioned, they work all across different sectors, right? And different industries. They provide the necessary resources. I know you guys have mentioned you work with the government, so the federal as well as private companies utilize them. So you definitely want to take advantage if you happen to start working for Chainalysis with their certification and publicizing that's going to take you far. Now I'm going to bring Tam back up because she is back and she is the moderator for this section. And we are actually at certifications. You guys mentioned that you have internal certification, but with, the myriad of certifications that are out there, in relations to this, and people are starting to come up with all kinds of certification. It's very interesting. So I want to get your take as recruiters as to the significance of that in this space right now, because we're charting a whole new pathway, right? I know I'm in cybersecurity, and cybersecurity certification outweighs like degrees, right, in some aspect, right? So I want to know your take as recruiters. How does certification apply to this whole industry?
Sure.
You want to talk about Crypto Capstone?
Oh, yeah, sure. I would love to talk about that. Would love to plug a little initiative that we have going on, actually. This is our first cohort that we're launching in 2022. We're calling it Crypto Capstone, and this is an opportunity for university students who don't have access to blockchain or crypto education at their specific universities to get badged in our cryptocurrency fundamentals certificate. And this certificate in particular, this program, Crypto Capstone, is targeting underrepresented groups in tech specifically, because we would love to see more women, for example, in the space. This has been a male-dominated space, and we're trying to kind of break those barriers. And by the way, so if you have any students listening, please go on our careers page, click on Crypto Capstone and apply. This is an opportunity to complete your 16-hour cryptocurrency fundamentals certification, in addition to having the opportunity to meet our early career professionals and learn about the types of roles that we have available at Chainalysis. Also, to sweeten the deal, we do have some scholarship money on the line for top performing students that take the exam, and Chainalysis swag as well. So any questions, you can reach out directly to me or go to our career site again and check out Crypto Capstone.
Awesome. Wow. That's fantastic. Guys, you hear this first, okay? Here, Crypto Capstone, they have a training course that can definitely help you. And if you're a student out there, there's a scholarship for you. So please tap into that. I will let Tam take over as moderator because she does a very good job, and you ladies are in great hands. Tam, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Thank you so much, Inka, for standing in there.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies. So I was able to catch on to a little bit. So if any of my questions we've covered before, just let me know, okay? Listening says, how can folks identify and highlight their transferable skills when they're seeking a new position?
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit, but I think, there's other ways as well. So Julie mentioned a great way is to just let it be known that the crypto industry is something that you're interested in. There's always that interests kind of sentence at the bottom of your resume, so feel free to add crypto there. I think really leveraging your networking sites as well, though, is important. So these are places where you really can shine and show, as Yinka was saying, your true self and what you're really passionate about. So LinkedIn is where recruiters live and breathe every day. So really maximizing your profile on LinkedIn is definitely a great thing to do. Adding your subject, adding your little summary about you and kind of current projects and interests is a great way to make sure that recruiters coming across your profile know that this is something you're invested in. This is something that you want to be learning more about. And it definitely is a great sign for me anytime I see somebody with that level of detail in their resume or in their LinkedIn profile to make sure I reach out and go the extra mile to see if we can get on a call.
For sure. And I think we're also living in this like intersectionality where Chainalysis sits. We're kind of in the middle of this like technology, financial services, regulation space. So folks that are coming from those backgrounds, like we may have some opportunities that are a match here at Chainalysis.
Excellent. So that's a very good idea. I don't know if they told you, but another thing I'm known for on here is I'm taking notes because I am not a traditional. I'm perfect for this space. Really, I'm not a traditional finance person. I'm not a traditional technology person, but I am a curious person, and this has led me to this space and understanding really how we are changing the world with this technology. And so I'm definitely out here looking for different opportunities that is just going to grow my knowledge. So if you see me with my head down, it's because I'm taking notes. Okay. I know that I understand that both of you ladies are from traditional finance backgrounds, right? Did we go through that a little bit?
No, actually. So I am, I'm a recruiter. It's an agency recruiter prior to working at Chainalysis internally. I did have 2 years where I was working within the financial space. So I was placing folks within quantitative analytics and risk management. But then I moved actually to focus on technology for the manufacturing sector and then got into Chainalysis. So yeah, there's many different industries that folks can come from, but Julie also has an interesting background.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually do come from big tech and big finance prior to joining Chainalysis. And for me, I really saw this as an opportunity to marry the two worlds together in one. But then I also did some other things in my background. I used to be an accountant, so I like to pride myself as a recruiter that knows how to use Excel well. So that's just a little bit about my background.
Okay, well, with that in mind, so was there any like culture shock when you guys transitioned from those careers to now here in the blockchain space? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say the culture shock has been a very positive culture shock, in my opinion. This is my first experience working at a late stage startup, and I just find that we're like having this opportunity to kind of build something together. We're all so mission driven here. And I don't know if we talked about this before, but we're also pre-IPO. So we're on a road to get to IPO. So you find this different energy working at Chainalysis because we're all working together closely towards one goal. And it makes the culture extremely collaborative. And I have to say that after my first week of working here, I remember coming home and telling my family that like I felt like I just was hanging out with friends all day. And like it's been such like a different experience compared to your traditional corporate environments.
And what about you, Julie? What did you experience?
Yeah, so something similar. I mean, it's so exciting to work, you know, not just at Chainalysis, but in the space that I think Yinka said at the beginning, nobody's an expert, right? Everybody's learning every day. Everybody has to lean on each other's strengths in order to make the best business decision possible. And so it ties back into collaboration. It ties back into just an innate curiosity that everybody who comes to the company has to have. And I think the biggest thing for me as well is that asking questions isn't seen as a taboo thing, right? Everybody asks questions in every single meeting that I'm in. Nothing's seen as silly. Everybody comes from a different depth of knowledge. And so by having an environment where you feel that you can ask questions and learn, make sure that you can ramp in your role as quickly as possible and hopefully be a top performer.
Absolutely. I love that idea, like of just going and everybody's asking questions, because I'm going to ask a question. You know, me personally, if I've been thinking about it, and it's always going to be like, I have a question. Like, you know, that's always how it starts out. And some of them, like, you know, I used to, when I got into the space, I was definitely like, you know, a little, and when I say when I got into it, like a year ago, like just starting to learn or whatever, I used to feel a little bit like self-conscious, like maybe it's something I should go try and look up first or whatever. But knowing that attitude is here in Chainalysis as well, I found like in the space in its entirety, just where people are supportive of those who ask questions, and you know they're answering is really what real collaboration looks like. Is super important and valuable, I think, when it comes to companies. So I love to hear that that's a characteristic that you find at Chainalysis. So the last question, another question I have, I'm sorry, not the last question. Maybe you've already touched on this again, but what is one piece of advice that you've heard from job seekers in the crypto and digital assets in order to demonstrate their passion for the underlying technologies and innovations in the space? And does this resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, just going back to utilizing what you have available to you. So Twitter, LinkedIn, you know, making sure that you are doing your research as you reach out to folks and ask them questions. I was on an event earlier where somebody mentioned that was kind of the key differentiator for them in spurring their ability to hear back from recruiters and from folks that they wanted to get mentorship from, is really sending them detailed and well-researched messages to make sure that they know that it's worth their time to jump on a call with you and chat a bit further. I think we get a lot of messages every single day with just, hi, nice to connect, and no detail behind it. But, if you put together something saying, hi, I just read Chainalysis' most recent report on, ransomware, and really was intrigued by this section. I'd love to talk to you more about how Chainalysis is growing in the space and being able to put together these research papers. For me, that's really intriguing. It really shows that you put in your research and looked into Chainalysis. And I'd love to talk to you more about that, even if it's not about a current position, but just to see what we can keep you in mind for as we continue to grow. So I think that's another, good tidbit for folks who are looking for new positions, is to make sure that every reach out that you have is well researched and targeted, and making sure that it's something that is relevant to the person you're reaching out to.
That's a good point, and I'd like to just add on Yanni's point of being intentional in your messages. I'll just quickly talk about an example of a student that applied for one of our opportunities. He's really into crypto, didn't really know about the reg tech industry that we're in specifically, but during his research of crypto, he came across a video of our COO, Jonathan Levin, testifying on the Hill 2 weeks ago at a digital assets hearing. And he was glued to the screen, watched 2.5 hours of it, and then sent me a note like, hey, I'm so interested in the space because I just viewed your COO speak to senators for 2.5 hours. I thought it was so intriguing. And like, there's so much knowledge about the space that our government has still kind of learning about. And I thought that was pretty moving. And like, he has his final interview today. So we'll see what happens.
Excellent. So what other efforts are being made by Chainalysis right now to kind of help educate, governmental bodies on this space?
I think it's at our core of making sure that we're a trusted resource. We want to make sure that we are continuously putting out information out there based on new regulations, based on new technologies and new trends that we're seeing. So I think the biggest asset that we can provide them is just being a trusted, dedicated, consistent resource to information that's really in depth and really holistic of the entirety of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Yanni. And we're also a trusted partner to a lot of our customers in the public and private sector. So we have this kind of long history of helping companies eliminate bad actors in this space. So I think our reputation kind of speaks for itself in this case as well.
Well, that's very important, Julie. You definitely have to, have somebody that's there to kind of, back decisions or help you make decisions when it comes to removing, the bad actors in this space. Because as we know, with fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD and the FOMO out here, there's so much opportunity, for those bad actors to capitalize. But it's very good to know that, we have companies out here that are actively doing things to combat that. So we appreciate Chainalysis for taking that on. My next question is, so you said that you guys are in what's considered reg tech. Real quick, can you just give us a quick definition of what that is, Yanni?
Yeah, so regulation technology, essentially, we work a lot within the compliance space as well. And it's part of what we do as a company to make sure that businesses have clarity into what's going on in their own systems. So making sure that they're up to date in new regulations, new compliance changes, and can make decisions based on that data that they have from Chainalysis.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question I had for you guys is, when it comes to regulation, I don't know, it can be seen as a bad word. guess kind of, and compliance can be seen as a bad word in this space there where sovereignty and people think that it's like the wild, wild west and like, you can do whatever you want here. They see those things as the bad word. So what would you say to people that have pushed back against those ideas here in this space?
Yeah, so I think we are very true as well to the origination of crypto. We want a space that is decentralized from the large banks, but we also understand we don't want to enable an industry that is fostering the ability for sex trafficking rings or terrorist financing groups to be able to continue to be in business. So we're trying to find the middle ground of both worlds and ensuring that people can feel trusted and enact in the space in a safe way, while making sure that bad actors understand that this isn't an opportunity for them to capitalize.
Great, excellent. So when it comes to compliance, does someone who wants to work like in on-chain analysis or compliance, do they have to have a passion for compliance, or can a regular 9-to-5 person get in there and do this too, or no?
I think perhaps in the university space, we're open to so many different profiles because we realize that students are just launching their careers and aren't experts in all things. And just like we're also not experts and we're learning. But I think maybe perhaps in some of the more senior level roles, like we do have this expectation that these applicants would have some sort of background in compliance, particularly from a banking sector or from government regulatory bodies.
Okay. So I could potentially, like, being that I just have a passion personally for understanding what's going on. Like, I really want to know what's happening. So that could potentially still be a place that would work for me or someone like me.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to leverage the experience you do have, right? So I'm not familiar with your background, but hypothetically, if you're a salesperson, right, really leveraging your sales acumen and expertise and showing how with that acumen already under your belt, you can still learn the industry quite quickly because you're already engaged in it on a daily basis, reading articles and keeping up to date. So I think it's really leveraging the experience you already have, whether it be in crypto or not, and then combining that with your interest in showing how you can really marriage the two quite quickly.
Excellent. Okay, so I recently noticed that young people in the NFT crypto space are incorporating their PFP into their profile on LinkedIn, and also the fact that they are involved in a few of these popular projects. Does that improve their chances any? And the PFP is a profile pic, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to just showcasing that you're ready to jump into the space. So anything like that is welcome. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm taking down all these hints because, like I said, when I pop out there, I want you guys to know it's me. Know that I took all of your suggestions, and I hope that everyone out here listening is doing the same. We have another question that says, what are the main differences that you see between the consumer transacting on the blockchain and companies or enterprises that operate in this space?
So from what I understand from that question, it's asking a little bit more about how, like, my personal trading is different to a financial organization that wants to get into crypto. Is that correct?
Yeah, more of the view. Yeah.
So I can really, I don't know if this answers the question, and then feel free to push back here or ask in a follow-up if I'm not answering it fully. But essentially, here we are focused on large enterprises that want to get into the crypto and digital asset space. So our specialty is supporting that and making sure that large organizations have the infrastructure behind the work that they do. So we aren't in the business of, I guess, telling you exactly when to trade or when to buy. It's more so making sure that you have the infrastructure and software for a large organization to successfully be part and transact within the crypto space.
Okay, great. Give me one second. I think we have another question coming in from the comments. Give us just a moment here. Okay. I'm going to ask that my production team retype that one for me so I can ask it a little more clear. So while we wait for that, what kinds of benefits have you seen? And maybe this is a little bit early on with you in the space, but what are the benefits that you've seen that maybe people who come into chain analysis and then go on to newer, different projects after being with chain analysis? Do you have any insight on what are some of the positive things that they've said about having exposure first with chain analysis and then going on to move their career outside of you guys?
Yeah, I'll take that one. That's a great question. I think that being like a leader in this space, in data and analytics, a lot of companies that are also in this ecosystem really value the training that we provide to our employees. So they want to hire a lot of them. We're trying our best to kind of keep our culture strong and maintain a really strong work environment here of learning and development, so our employees don't leave. But you do become like a sought after, person once you do work at Chainalysis.
Excellent. Okay. Alrighty. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with more from Chain Analysis.
Thanks.
Hi, ladies. I am back. Unfortunately, Tam's network timed out, so we're gonna hope that she can get back on. Seems like there's something going on over there in Texas right now, so network is choppy. But I do have some questions, some more questions for you, ladies. One question, actually, a few questions in particular for the Capstone program that you guys have. Can you go into a little bit more detail as to what type of individuals needs to apply for this capstone and whether or not they need to come with a computer science background?
Sure, that's a great question. So we're primarily targeting students that are underrepresented in tech. So some examples would be women, folks with a Black, African American, Latinx, Hispanic, LGBTQ. So any of those groups that are not traditionally represented well in tech is who we're targeting for this initiative. We do prefer a technical background, so that could be computer science, engineering, IT, cybersecurity, like yourself, or any other related majors. However, we'll still be accepting applications from students that may have a different major that doesn't align with those. And we are asking applicants to apply only if they're graduating spring 2023 or later for this opportunity as well.
Okay, all right, great. And so if how many students are you looking to choose for this capstone program?
That's a great question. So I think with our first cohort, we're limiting the students to 35. This way we can still maintain active participation, because as we're going through the content, there's going to be a lot of questions that arise, and we want to ensure that we have ample time to be able to dive into those questions deeper. The content will be delivered live, so we'll have two of our instructors ready to help to answer questions that may come live or through a chat over Zoom.
Awesome, awesome. And so when they're going through this course, it's a four-day virtual session. What should they expect?
Sure. So, I mean, it's 4 half days. We tried to break it up a little bit because we know that a lot of new material, it's hard to sit through a virtual class for 4 full days. So we try to break up the material a little bit, and every day we'll have something special. So for example, our VP of IT and security is going to do a welcome session for the students. On another day, we'll have a panel of early career professionals at Chainalysis talk about their experience, what they do, how they got into the industry. We'll also be leaving time for opportunities for just informal networking with our employees. But what students can expect is just to show up and be ready to learn. The only really prerequisite is that they have a laptop ready to go, so they can dial into Zoom for the sessions. And at the end of the session, they'll have the opportunity to sit for the exam, and you need a 75 or greater to pass to get certified in the CCFC certification.
Awesome. All right, cool. So how long is the exam?
The exam takes about 90 minutes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And multiple choice questions or
essay?
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so you guys heard it here. There's a capstone program that the kids can apply for. Make sure that they tap into that. Now, I'm looking through your available jobs, and I see that you guys have jobs all across the world. So talk about that. Like, I didn't realize that Chainalysis was so big, right? That you guys have positions all across. So give us a little bit insight about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're a global business. We've been a global business pretty much since day one. So we've always had our London and Copenhagen offices as well, which is great to make sure that we are tapping into the global ecosystem and understanding things not just from a US perspective, but from a global perspective. So as of today, we have our headquarters in New York City. We also have an office in DC and building out hubs in Miami and San Francisco. Globally, we are in Copenhagen and London. We have some remote employees across Europe as well. And then APAC is a huge area of growth for us as well. So we have Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and Australia.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'm trying to think of the last question right now. We did have a question, but I'm a little bit confused about the question myself, but maybe it's just me. But what do internal structures of the enterprise blockchain focus on for things like KPIs and metrics and performance? Are there any different from the traditional SaaS companies that you guys may be aware of?
I mean, we're a SaaS business, so we follow very similar metrics that any other big tech company would. So I guess the short answer is probably not too different. The only thing is that the nuances of those metrics are going to be specific to the blockchain and digital asset space.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, Yanni and Julie, I really appreciate you ladies joining us. If someone is interested in tapping into you both and maybe applying for your position, please feel free to give ways that they can contact you.
Sure, I can also throw our LinkedIn's in this chat as well to share
Awesome.
out with anybody who's listening in.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, perfect. I'll do that now.
All right. And I'll repost that in the chat. Now, thank you, ladies, for joining. Really appreciate it. This has been a wonderful introduction to the recruiting aspect in the blockchain space, especially with chain analysis. So thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Thank you for hosting. Thank you.
No problem. All right. We will be back in 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Hey, Tam, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, man, whatever's
Trying
going
again.
on over there in Texas, man, it's like,
Yeah, I think it might be there's like a wind advisory in this area, and like earlier this morning, like the gym lights went off and everything. Like, so I'm thinking it has something to do with that, but yeah, my internet is not cooperating. So hopefully it's a little bit better. I switched over to my phone.
okay.
Now.
Okay.
All
All right.
right.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed for the phone because this has been an interesting Worldwide Wednesday so far. We are waiting on our next speaker. So as we wait, let's go ahead and, chop it up a little and see if Megan will be able to join us today. And so, we've heard a lot about jobs that are being out there. And I really like the fact that these recruiters, Yanni as well as Julie, came to join us. Was able to provide us with some information as to applying in this space, especially when you're
Yes.
from traditional world into the Web3 space that are being cultivated. And the reason why I asked my question was, I saw an article recently that was talking about how these new LinkedIn users are using their PFPs, whether it's one of the blue chip NFTs that they purchase, right,
Hmm.
as their profile picture. And also talking about the fact or bigging up the fact that they are involved in this space and that they are the early adapters of either, the doodle or whatever they call them, or the Bored Ape Yacht Club or whatever, right?
Yeah.
As a means of status, and so people are doing that. So I was curious to know whether that factors into, the recruitment process. It's interesting for sure. That, being someone that, I don't know, FOMO'd in, right? Into
Hmm.
something and just happened to be lucky enough to experience that upslide, right? Is now a means to get a job. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, I think that's super interesting. I was thinking like to myself, because I'm gonna try after the conference and everything, I'm finally gonna try my hand at creating my own NFT and making it into a PFP. So that's exciting to know that companies do, especially when they're trying to do that, like cross recruiting from the Web 2 space or previously, and then bringing your same job skills into this Web 3 space. It's good to know that they're taking those things as signals for your passion, because I really am like, I'm not out here getting paid, like, to do these things that I'm educating myself on or anything right now. But I do foresee that as my future, and so for someone who can look at just your curiosity, your ability to educate yourself and your passion to want to educate yourself in this space, and know that that'll make you a valuable piece of their enterprise puzzle is super important, and it's great. It's another joy of the Web 3 space, where we're looking for skills and passion, and not like in the past how it's been like oh, you used to work for this big person, and like now this big person, and not so much of that, but really we're looking at the skills and looking at who you are and how you're passionate behind this space. So I love to hear it. It makes me very excited and happy to know that these are the types of things that are being considered, because this is what I bring. I bring the passion. I can bring that. I can learn anything, but you got to have that passion for yourself already.
That is so true. You do have to have that passion. You have to come with that passion for sure. And I'm really excited that we were able to present that to people. Um, and it's just interesting how things have changed, right? Because for the longest time, there's a lot of people who were adamantly against using LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is like the number one platform for recruiters. You too? What?
Listen, I never got behind LinkedIn. Like it
Really?
was always very, just being a millennial myself again. It was always very, it seemed like the epitome of like corporate. And even though I've been in corporate and like, I'm very much like raging against the machine. Like I hate that I have to be here type of thing. But so LinkedIn was just like kind of the epitome of that for me. But now seeing even how they are developing, the recruiters out there are changing LinkedIn, and the thought processing behind LinkedIn, they've changed enough for me because I have reactivated my LinkedIn profile. you know,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to be
Good.
revamping that as well. So I've heard that echoed a lot of times, just within the conference, of LinkedIn. Like a lot of the recruiters we had that come through, or people are hiring for their company, saying that they're looking on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So made me go ahead and reactivate my LinkedIn account. But yeah, like it's even that, like they're bringing new life to like older technology that some of us were not very keen on before.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yes, it's so true. So, for a lot of people, Twitter Spaces or Twitter period is like their default, right? It's the only
Hmm.
platform that they go to. Some people are using other means like IG and stuff like that. But, really, if you want to get these jobs out here, LinkedIn is the number one platform. It is a professional platform, which somehow is finding a crossover, right? Because you're finding people who are in the intersection of Web 2 and Web 3 who are realizing that LinkedIn is where the professionals, the people really hire. And so they want to be able to tap into LinkedIn and utilize it for the intended purpose. So I'm glad that you revamped your LinkedIn, because opportunities are out there. That's where these jobs are. That's where these recruiters like Yanni and Julie are. And that's where they're sourcing. And I do know that some people also do Twitter as well. I think people have been successful on Twitter, but LinkedIn is where it's at. So I'm hoping a lot of y'all, dust off your LinkedIn profile.
Dust off that LinkedIn profile. Yep. Do like me, dust it off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. And I can tell you the amount of times that I've utilized LinkedIn to try to connect with people in the space, right? There are opportunities. Like if I'm sourcing, women who are in the space, I want to see blockchain in your profile, right? And so I'm doing the keyword searches to try to target people. And so I'm encouraging y'all to start putting the words out there that you are involved in this space, because it's rapidly changing and people are looking for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, I've been doing that a good job, I think, at that around my circles, telling my friends and family that I'm into it, just because on my efforts to protect them, for they hearing the words and, wanting to get into the space and not really having an entry point and not really knowing how. So I've kind of put myself out there with them. It's like, listen, I'm out here deep diving. I'm making connections on networking. I'm really understanding this blockchain space as deeply as I can. And then making connections where, my knowledge might lack. And so I definitely am going to start pivoting that for my own, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to say? My own growth in this industry, so letting them know that, yeah, I'm out here, so to protect them, but at the same time, like, definitely going to start tapping into utilizing the things that I'm learning and the network I'm creating to be able to really perform in this space. So I enjoy this part. I really like talking about it. I really like telling more people and educating more people and discovering, new things that I should be educated on. This is the best part to me. Like, I could do this part all day. And so, yeah, definitely going to start leveraging that though in my LinkedIn and on my socials and everything like that. So if you haven't followed me already, start following me. I do a little bit of content here and there, just about Bitcoin, and because I think I'm funny.
I love
and so, I do a little bit of content, but really going to start utilizing that in my professional life as well. So that's very smart.
No, it is. It really is. It's important to do that. And as you heard from the ladies this morning, and if you recall, we also had another recruiter that was on earlier, and she had a platform that was actually helping people build Web3 related resumes, right? And so, this opportunity is exploding. There are job opportunities out there. There's things for people to tap into, and we're providing you with the resources, right? And I love the stuff that Yanni and Julie mentioned today, and I think they reinforce what the other the other woman that we had that spoke about the resume was that, in your resume, you just got to put the keywords, right? You don't have to have extensive experience in blockchain, but if you've participated in blockchain conferences, put that, right?
Right.
Attended or was a speaker. Come on, guys. The International Women of Blockchain. We had several speakers who were coming from all ranges of experiences, right? Put that. I participated, I watched, I attended the International Women of Blockchain. Put that, right? And then also try to incorporate a cover letter. If you're truly new into this space, incorporate a cover letter that talks about, your passion. Why are you interested in this? What do you hope to gain from being in the space, right? I'm interested in NFTs, and I think NFTs can be applied, right? That will spark their interest. That would say, okay, this person knows the possibilities of the space. It will at least give people insight into your interest in being in this space and the knowledge that you're coming with, right? And so do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Yo, I love the fact that I think it was Yanni that mentioned that, the chain analysis CEO was with Congress, had
Mhm.
part of the recent hearing, and someone saw that and reached out. Like, these people are so, like, you could reach out. You could reach out to a CEO and let them know that you're interested, right?
They're accessible. They're extremely
Exactly,
accessible.
right? And because, they know that this space is new, they're not going to snub you. They're not going to say, oh, whatever, they're going to say, this is a potential opportunity. This is possibly somebody who could work with us. And they're looking for that. They're looking for the curiosity. They're looking for those of you who are hungry enough to step outside of the norm, because this space is all about that. It's all about bringing your true, authentic self. And so you got to show up and represent. And I love that about this space. So I'm encouraging y'all to come with what you have and take the opportunity, take the risk. And just to let y'all know, Yanni and Julie are in our Discord. So this is your opportunity to tap into them, ask them the questions that you probably were second guessing, about asking. You never know what could spark from that. And I love that about this space.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Like I was going to say, like, when you're talking about using those opportunities, like our Discord is an opportunity, it's a unique opportunity. Women all across the world are in our Discord, talking and making connections, and getting questions answered, about the space that we don't have anywhere else, so that is an opportunity. And opportunity also kind of can look a little different, in this space. So know that, know how to protect yourself, when it comes to certain aspects. Once you understand the space, you should never give anybody any keys or, wallet addresses for no reason, like those types of things. But there are the fact that we are leveraging social media this heavily for this space in order to create connection. That's an opportunity, right? You can't reach out to Jeff Bezos, on Twitter. Like, your chance of being responded to are very, very slim, but here there's a way where you can reach out to the whole, not just like, the just individuals who are creating companies, but the whole entire ecosystem is on Twitter. They're in LinkedIn, like you mentioned, like, they're in Discord. We're here, so these opportunities look different. They look different. It's not the same always as going to a job board and uploading a resume. While they're out there, they're posted on those sites. It's not really how a lot of the connections I'm seeing that are being made. Like, they're being made in the conferences. They're being made in Discords, like I mentioned. And so definitely tap in, with our Discord, our sponsors, even because they're new to this space as well. Even our sponsors, like, they are developing in this space. So there is a lot of opportunity, and just be mindful that it might look a little different, but with your due diligence, doing your own research, you'll find the right opportunity for you.
Exactly. And I'm telling y'all, the replays, if you're in Discord, majority of the replays are already out there. If, you go through it and you're like, yo, I like what she's saying, I want to work with her, reach out to this individual, okay? Because that's why we're asking them to provide their social media. And if you can't find it, go to the Discord and just say, hey, I'm looking for this particular person, right? We will help you. We will help bridge that connection. Use it. Hey, I saw you at the IWB event. You were talking about this. I'm thinking this. Maybe there's a way for us to talk and collaborate. You never know. I'm telling you, you never know. It starts so simple. And oftentimes fear gets in the way of people creating those connections. So it starts really simple, and it can end up being, you could end up creating a future for yourself with that simple question or that initiation of reaching out to somebody. So we want y'all to do that. That's what this space is about. That's what this whole event is about, bridging that connection and making sure that you guys are able to tap in to this. And if you didn't join us throughout the entire month, but you have privilege to this recording, definitely tap in. The Discord will be open to everyone, and we definitely want people to be able to communicate and interact there and build more, which is very important.
Build, build, build. We are all building. Like, remember that nobody's an expert in this space. All right. You become an expert by educating yourself, by building, by tapping in. That's how you become an expert. So get in here.
Exactly. Yeah. And that word expert, I had to correct Yanni, and she understood, right? We all know
Uh-huh.
the word expert is so easy for us to say in IRL. But when you're traveling into space, we know that, when you start to put that expert word out there, it's like kind of cringe worthy, because you can be expert today, but not an expert tomorrow, right? Because so much can
Right.
change in a second. And so that's why people are hesitant, because to some degree we know stuff, right? But then we also are cognizant of the fact that we move in dog years. What was
Mm-hmm.
possible yesterday could change tomorrow, and it does happen a lot, right? And so we want people to come in here and be, feel comfortable enough to step into the space and start talking about it, right? But it all starts with that initiation. It all starts with that educating yourself. And I'm glad that someone was able to ask about those books, resources that they can tap into. But it all starts with that. You got to do your own research. We're coming back to that word again. Do research, and tap in and start to cultivate that experience, cultivate the information, so that you can start applying it and be comfortable speaking in this space. So most of you who are, attending as an attendee and not a participant, I definitely want to see you all become speakers, in this space as well, because your voices are very much important. It's important to make sure that you guys are able to add value into this space as we're building, right? I think it's very important. And, I know Tam has talked about how, she's been hesitant, and when we were started on this journey, she has definitely progressed so much. And that's because she put herself out there. She let y'all know that, hey, this isn't her area of expertise. She knows about Bitcoin, but everything else she's learning. And every day, look at her pen and paper. Look at I see your pad and pen. She's been writing.
Absolutely.
She's
Every
been,
day.
and that's what it takes, right? To start being comfortable in a space. And if you guys have been tapping into Worldwide Wednesdays, you've seen her growth. She's been comfortable asking questions, and those questions have spearheaded some great debates.
Yeah, we
Man,
did have some
we
good
have
times.
done things. It's made Wednesday that much more enjoyable, right? It's given it an impact that you can feel, because it resonates with a lot of us and the questions that we want to ask. Because we were even sitting backstage and saying, "Man, that was a good question." Kudos to you. Yeah, kudos to you.
Thank
I
you so much.
highlighted. You're welcome. Hey, we got Megan. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna transition to our next speaker shortly, but I just want to highlight the fact that someone, Mary Ellen, had mentioned that LinkedIn has been exploding recently with content and newsletters. Yes, about this space. Okay, it's huge. It's out there. People are talking about crypto, blockchain, and there's wonderful women who are also providing insights about NFTs. And we got Megan to come up and talk about some of the things that she's doing in this space. So I'm really excited. I'm going to leave and let you introduce Megan.
All righty. Excellent. Well, I'm so excited to bring Megan to the stage. She has an NFTs collection that she's been doing, I believe, and we're just going to get a little bit more into that. Welcome, Megan. How are you?
Hi, is this working properly? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Amazing. Yeah, so thanks guys for having me. This is an awesome project, and everything you're pulling together is great. But yeah, so I guess I am a woman in Web3 in a few different aspects. And I was reading through the other speakers, and oh my gosh, you guys have a great lineup. But anyways, a little bit about me is I live in Miami. Not originally from here. I kind of came here looking to join the tech movement. And my background's traditional finance, and I was a little bit fed up with that world. It's just, I didn't find the creativity and the, freedom to kind of explore different avenues of the next best up and coming thing, which I believe is all things Web3. But so anyways, I moved down here. I currently work for Security Token Market. I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with security tokens, but they are essentially digital assets that live on the blockchain. So it's not cryptocurrency, but think of it as the Wall Street of the metaverse. That's kind of what we do. We tokenize assets. So it's any real asset that is tangible that can be fractionalized and sold. So think of like, equity in a company, how people do an IPO, you can do an STO and tokenize your company on the blockchain. And what's the beauty of it is you do not need nearly as much capital or, public backing as if you were to do an IPO, although it is still regulated by the SEC. So you're following all regulations. But yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. Now, currently, I'm head of media at Security Token Market. So I am kind of, pushing the token movement within all communities because it's applicable to everybody. So yeah.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you for that, Megan. All right. Well, so tell us, give us a little bit more of like how you got into this space and like what your transition was like. And then let's go ahead and get into your NFT collection. I'm going to leave the stage and allow you to go forward.
Okay, great. So I initially got into this space. I went to college for a few different things. My major was in communications and I had a minor in engineering and a minor in business. So I kind of applied it to this world. I started off working for TikTok and Western Union. So I got a marketing background there and a corporate communications background. And I really loved both those companies. Those were awesome positions. They were back where I'm from in Colorado. So I unfortunately had to part ways when I moved to Miami. And when I moved to Miami, I began working in a traditional finance role, overseeing their external communication strategies. And that's kind of when I eventually left there to join Security Token Market. So that's kind of my background and how I got here. I just loved what they were doing over there, and they're democratizing investing. So it's really not just the rich can only invest, because that's kind of how it's set up right now. Like the rich keep getting richer because there's so many regulations around, you have to be an accredited investor to invest in real estate and X, Y, and Z. So I really love that Web3 is giving everybody the opportunity to invest in assets, whether it's, with $100 or with $100,000. But anyways, so with this role, my bosses, they're amazing. Kyle Sonlin and Herwig Konings, they also gave me kind of a platform because I really told them I wanted to be a voice of women in tech. And they, of course, were more than supportive on every front. So I don't actually have an NFT collection, but I have a show called Spilling the NFT. It's kind of a play on words. It's NFTEA. And there, me and my co-host, Jessica Burns, she's also works for Security Token Market. We just very basic explanation of everything. It's not just NFTs. We do blockchain, we do Web3, we do the metaverse, security tokens, assets, anything that's applicable to Web3 we're talking about, and we're teaching women on a very basic level. We just felt that so many people teaching others were being very high level, kind of being polarizing, using a lot of buzzwords and not just basic explanation, really giving people the facts. So we started that show. It's really fun. We film it on a yacht. We had to make it, a little bit exciting. And, we're in Miami, so we're kind of taking that angle. It's not too serious. It's for anybody to enjoy, women or men. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And then of course we do NFT giveaways. So if anybody wants to collab, we're always working with others in the space, especially women. yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at now. And I do that on the side, you know, when I'm not doing my media job.
Okay, sorry, I was taking a little notes. So definitely want to check out the spelling the NFT, and I have to make sure to spell it out the whole way. And so with what has been your experience to your programming, what has been the reception in Miami? Because I know that with the mayor of Miami, you know, pushing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I hear a little bit on different sides. So what has been your experience on your show?
With the city of Miami?
Yeah, with the city of Miami and how they're accepting your show, or like, is it, you know, the audience growing?
So we actually have had great feedback, and our company is very close with the mayor. So, you know, we're always working with companies like in the space, and everybody's very, very apt to support each other in any way they can. So like, you know, we have other NFT projects down here. We have you know, media companies that are looking to collaborate. It's been very responsive, and especially with spreading awareness of this new, people had a lot of questions, you know, oh, what is your mayor doing with this and that? And so essentially it's, I'm grateful enough that we kind of we have the opportunity to explain what the city of Miami is doing. So they essentially created a city coin, and it generates essentially profit for the city is the end goal. And there's a lot of things that have been thrown around saying, oh, with the profits, we're going to be paying, you know, the citizens taxes and X, Y, and Z. So nothing's been set in stone. I know there is a cryptocurrency council down here in Miami. I'm very close with one of the guys, and, you know, I speak with him frequently. They're just trying to do anything they can in the space to show people that blockchain enables people at any level, education, income, any level, it's going to benefit them in the long run. Because I feel like a lot of people think cryptocurrency is just for the wealthy, it's just for the rich. So that's kind of where Miami Coin comes in. And also with tokenizing, you know, it's really opening a world of opportunities of investing and, you know, creating assets for people that would have not had access. So Miami Coin's fantastic in that way. It's exposing just a new audience to the benefits of cryptocurrency.
Absolutely. So you mentioned about the tokenization with the company. Is there a way that, like, you know, how do we get a token? Like, how can I begin my investing?
Yeah, so there's it's essentially just, think of it literally as the stock market for blockchain and, you know, Web3. So we really say we're building Wall Street of the metaverse, because anything can be, quote, tokenized, and that allows, you know, the security to fall within regulation under the government. And that's what we're seeing a lot of, is NFTs are being treated as securities. They're being given, you know, people will have an NFT and they'll give it real world value, and that's actually goes against the securities laws. And so it needs to be treated as a security token and, you know, have the regulation behind it. And so I don't know if you saw, a lot of these NFT projects are coming out and they're being busted. They're saying, you know, you're giving these NFTs real world value, and you're literally treating it as a security. So we kind of come in and we say, I mean, you can find all the lawsuits that are happening. I could name a few off the top of my head, but I don't want to give anybody bad press, because some people just don't know that they're treating NFTs as if they're a security. So to answer the question though, anything can be tokenized, any real world asset. And that's kind of the beauty of it. I was saying earlier, like with investing in real estate, you really have to, traditionally, you have to be an accredited investor. You have to have a certain level of income. It's almost like you could have a REIT, but it's very polarizing. So I know there's a company doing it right now. They're tokenizing investment properties across the US, and you can get in for as little as $50, and then you are, you know, reaping the benefits of having somebody else run the property for you. You know, you have somebody else getting tenants in there doing everything, and you're just realizing the gains of the tokenized property, because the token itself is an asset. So you're actually owning it.
Right.
If that makes sense. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah. So no. So you're saying like you can actually, there are companies out here that you can actually own a portion, like the real estate that you said. Like there's companies. So I would probably want to look for a tokenized real estate company that
Right.
is that's out here basically tokenizing properties.
Right.
Absolutely, I totally understand. Okay,
Exactly.
so my next question is like, as far as your transition into this space, what have you seen as some of the learning curve that you had to embrace in order to get where you are right now?
Oh, so that's, I guess I was just talking with someone about this yesterday, because they really wanted to get in the space within NFTs and I guess Web3 in general. And I really go back and forth, because people in this space claim to be experts, and it's like, nobody's really an expert, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have these concepts been around? You know, we can all call each other experts, I guess. But in this space, I feel like there's just like, if you have a willingness to learn and to like work with other people and be creative, like that's the best trait or like characteristic to get into these spaces. So how I got my role, I was just like totally curious, like with my friends and people I'd met at happy hours or, you know, mixers, events, like all of these things. I was literally just curious and picking brains, because nobody's actually an expert. Like I can't swallow that pill. You know, when people are like, I guess you can have a lot of experience to the space, you can be a first arriver, but I would argue we're all kind of first arrivers right now. Like we're all still so early, even though we're not buying Bitcoin at, you know, $1,000. But I was talking to this girl yesterday, and she's like, I just feel like I'm so late. And I'm like, you're not. Like, you just got out of college. You have, you know, you're literally the perfect person to be in this space, because you're so like, your brain is so open and creative, and, you know, you're just excited to learn. So I feel like that's like the biggest thing to transition, at least for me, was just being like curious and willing to listen to everybody, because nobody's an expert, but we can all learn together is kind of my.
Absolutely. It's good. Like we kind of echo that same sentiment here in IWB and with BWBC. We've been saying like, you know, nobody's an expert here. We all just got here, you know. It's like we're all like arrived on a foreign planet, and we're like, you know, one group is over here investigating the water, another group is over here like, you know, looking at the plants, and like, you know, we're out here investigating the new species, you know. So it's everybody is doing something different, because it's so new, but there's still so much of this world left to discover and to create in, that it is really open to everybody, and everybody should get in and get here as quickly as they can, educate themselves, and then like, you know, find a task that you're passionate about, find a cause your project that you're passionate about, and put your efforts behind it, because the another benefit of being so new to this space is that everybody is looking for somebody. Everybody needs a team. Everybody needs some kind of skills that you possess currently in the Web2 space, and they need those to be able to transition to the Web3. So that's something that we definitely agree with and echo here in this space. So thank you for saying that. The next question I have was, so when it comes to Miami specifically. So we just finished, Yinka and myself, we just finished an interview with Voices Miami out there at NBC6, and we did a quick question, and they asked me this question. I kind of want to ask you the same thing.
Yeah.
So the question was, why do you think Miami has become such a draw for cryptocurrencies and the Web3 space?
Oh, this is hard. I feel as if there was a lot of resistance in other places, and Miami didn't really have an identity of its own. I mean, of course, it had identities in other aspects, but not necessarily from like you know, there was really nobody had coined the city as it's this, it's that. Like New York and Silicon Valley, and now even like we're seeing Texas. I just think it was a place that really didn't have an identity. And also there was a lot of openness to this new world. Like as far as New York goes, it's crazy. We saw New York create a lot of regulation around they're banning this, they're banning that, they're banning Bitcoin mining. Like what, you know, nobody's going to come to your city and partake in these, you know, the next innovative thing if you're banning this stuff. And they kind of had to backtrack because they realized everybody isn't going to, you know, I hate to say it, but these cities are run off. If it's going to bring money, they're going to probably comply. So now New York's backtracking and they're like, no, we're the tech capital. You know, it was like a battle between Miami and New York, and we're going to create Bitcoin as, you know, the illegal tender or whatever. And it's just like, now we're just throwing out crazy things. So anyways, back to the point, I think Miami was just really open to it all. And they didn't shut the doors right when people were coming here saying, you know, let's regulate all of this. And, you know, there should be regulations around what's going on, but it should be done with open arms and really, you know, I feel like California was kind of, their ship had sailed. They're kind of in their own, you know, we do what we do, at least as far as Silicon Valley goes. And then people are now leaving there. You know, I don't want to get into like the taxation of it, but people are leaving there or whatever. None of my business, but they're coming to Miami now. So it was just like an influx of people, I believe. It was people having open arms here, being open to these ideas. And yeah, I just feel like it's, now they're saying it's the Wall Street of, the new Wall Street, I think is, I hear new terms every single day, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I say the same thing. Like, yeah, there's always a new term for it, but it's funny. Like we kind of say the same thing. So I definitely, like, you know, alluded to that in my answer, which was, I told him that I think that between the mayor, you know, understanding, he has to have some type of understanding of the technology behind Bitcoin and, like, you know, crypto, and what makes it significant, him, like, you know, paving the way and making it open for other people. I feel that there's a point that there is another sector of the population there, a large sector, who benefit from the removal of like third parties in certain instances, especially when it comes to remittance fees for exchanging currency or sending currency to their families and loved ones. And like, you know, there's a heavy immigrant population there, and so they benefit from that. So you have community buy-in, and then you have those two things combined together create exactly what you were talking about, which is a welcoming space. And so then you have everybody, the rest of the 2% of the world that is interested in getting into this space, then Miami becomes on their radar. And so you get people moving down because we know what is happening here in the space. We're coming from an education standpoint, understanding that this is the future and that we are not going to stop it. You know, all the regulations that they might want to do, they're eventually going to have to overturn them, like New York, you know, and try and reposition themselves. Whereas, you know, Miami's, like you said, they started there from the beginning with open arms and not shutting it down, and really being advanced in that, just their thought processes on how to approach this. So very kudos to Miami. The last question I have for you is going to be, oh, I'm sorry. We have two questions. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be the last one, but we have two from the audience. So the first question is, oh, go ahead.
STDs. Is STO market registered with FINRA or the SEC? We are actually not, we don't execute any trading of securities. We are solely, we have two business verticals. We have security token market. So we just do advertising. Our website is the hub, we're the top security token trading data website. So check that out. It's stomarket.com. So between our website and our socials, we do all of the marketing. We do interviews, we go to conferences, we do full production, you know, media production. So think of it as like Bloomberg for securities. And then, so that's a media vertical. So obviously no registration or anything. We're not trading. We're not buying, selling, anything like that. And then our other business, Security Token Advisors, they are essentially advisors to companies that are going end to end, creating an STO, which is a security token offering. So we walk them through, you know, start to finish, develop the white paper, everything about the offering itself. And then once they go live, we pass them off to, you know, the platform that will actually host the token. And then of course they can go, you know, after the lockup period of securities, they can then be freely traded on the secondary market. But we are not a secondary marketplace. We do not trade any securities. So although we develop, you know, regulated offerings, we do not actually have to register. And
Good
then
to know.
the second question is, what is the most popular spill in the NFT segment?
Yes.
Honestly, the ones where we talk about our personal experience, as crazy as that is. Because we can kind of, you know, see on YouTube all of the analytics. And it's honestly when my co-host and I are talking about being women in the space. And then, of course, followed up by the basic definitions are very popular. I don't know if that's like an SEO thing. People are Googling like, what is crypto? What is blockchain? And that kind of comes up. But definitely when we're talking about our personal experience in the space, I don't know if it's just because we really aim to make it relatable to other women. You know, we are all out here doing the same thing, you know, we're just trying to, you know, better the space. So Jess and I are nothing special. We're just sharing our experience, and that's really popular. So yeah.
Right. I think it definitely also probably speaks to the fact that this is a new space, and a lot of people want to know kind of before they take the plunge in, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, they are looking to people that they're trusting, or like, you know, voices that are being projected out there that are willing to tell their story, you know, about the space and how they, you know, not just the positive things, but like, you know, speaking to like, you know, some of the issues with the space as well. So I think that's just very popular right now as we are working towards you know, the standardization of Web3, you know, as it becomes the standard. So I think that's kind of indicative of the space right now. So
yeah,
you know, like you see, like you're not alone. Anybody out there listening, you're not alone. People are asking, like, you know, they want to know the stories. So feel free to do the same and get in the space. So my last question is, since you're in Miami, will you be at Bitcoin 2022?
Yes. I'm definitely going to make it to one day. It's funny. We always joke every single week there's a conference here. But that's obviously that's the big one. I'll be there. We have NFT week starting this week. It's literally NFT week now. The event actually starts Friday, I believe. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Miami NFT week they're doing a lot of promotion around that. So yeah, but it's funny. We're like, wasn't NFT week last week? Like, but it's okay. I love how, you know, excited people are, and you meet new people from everywhere every single day. That's the number one question down here. I always joke is when you meet somebody, the first question you ask is, "Oh, where do you live?" People don't live here. Like it's so transient, just from like visiting, and you know, people come here for like 3-6 months. I don't know, but yeah, it's always something. I will be at Bitcoin 2022 though. So, and a few of the other STO members will be as well. So.
Oh, great. I look forward to linking up with you. I'll be out there representing BWBC and the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. Yeah, I'm going to be there. So,
oh my gosh.
So yeah, I would definitely love to connect with you in the Discord. If you can, we can connect in Discord, and yeah, so we can link up, because I definitely want to, you know, get to know the city, get to know more of the people that are in this space, and have an opportunity, you know, just to talk about this space. It's amazing, it's phenomenal, and just the opportunities that here are unlike anything we've experienced before. And so I'm excited. And thank you so much, Megan, for giving us some time. So is there anything right now that you guys have on the horizon that we should be looking out for?
We have a lot coming up. It's hard to say because I kind of have to have, like, anything I say, I have to have disclaimers around it. But please follow Security Token Market on Twitter. It's STO Market. Instagram, I have my own Instagram. It's just my full name. I have an imposter out there right now, so watch out. Follow the real me. And yeah, I feel like my favorite thing about this whole community is that anybody can message anybody and get a response. So please reach out if you want to talk, collab, anything. We're always looking for guests on Spilling the NFT too. So maybe we'll have to speak if you're in Miami and we're filming when you're here. We'll definitely connect.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We can definitely connect. And we'll go ahead and make sure that we, post your socials actually in our Discord as well. So those of you all who are tapped in right now, you can make sure to check the Discord for Megan's information. She's in the Discord as well. So, make sure you're messaging her, tagging her, and, ask those questions, make those connections. This is, again, what the conference is about. And we're so glad to have you on today, Megan, and be able to share, what you all are doing in the space. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll be in contact with everyone. See ya.
All righty. Thank you. All right. That was excellent.
All right. That was fantastic. All right. Wow. We have come to the end of Worldwide Wednesdays.
Our last Worldwide Wednesday.
The last one. Wow. Okay. So I just want to say thank you very much, Tam, for all the work that you have done. It's been fantastic. You have brought out a lot of questions to the table and have made Worldwide Wednesday really enjoyable. So great job moderating. Can't believe, I feel like I've seen you grow.
Thank you so much.
I can't believe that you were the person that was like, nah, I can't do this. So like that, right? You're doing it. You've done a great thing, and you helped us present these speakers in a different light. And we just want to thank you for that. Thank you for the wonderful work that you put into this.
Thank you, Yinka, for allowing the platform and really just trusting me with this opportunity. You said, like, I've been telling about, I was very hesitant in the beginning because I just came like, I just want to learn, and that's kind of how I continue to approach this space. Is just, I just want to learn. And so I just appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to really like learn at an intimate level, like being here with these wonderful women that we've had all month long. And yeah, it's just something, like I said, this was if I said this was the highlight of my March, that's an understatement. Like I'm too ecstatic about everything that's gone on this month. And I just can't wait for, to continue to learn and continue to be out here, representing those of us in this space of women, Black women, those of us who are in marginalized communities. And I just want to thank you for allowing the platform for us to do so.
No, you're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm excited that you were that we got to experience your journey and your growth in this space. And it's been fantastic. I have to say that you've come a long way, and you have now a wealth of information and a notepad to show.
Absolutely. A notepad to match. Absolutely. I definitely got that as well.
I love it. We're all students in this space, honestly. We're all still learning. And that's why we say there is no expert, because everything could change. I mean, we just learned from, recruiting aspect to, being introduced to individuals in Thailand that are trying to gamify and brought gamified platforms to this space, to now STOs, security tokenized aspect of this space. And it's been fantastic. I mean, there's a wealth of information here, and I'm not an expert, that's for sure. I know about blockchain, but I can't claim to be an expert, and really no one can, because there's so much more to this space than what we think we know about, right? Every day you're being exposed to so much more. And I have to say, Worldwide Wednesdays has been one of those days that we've been exposed to a whole lot. We've been exposed to various topics, and we've had that debate. We've had those necessary discussions that need to be asked. And we always encourage people to ask questions, right? Ask questions.
Absolutely.
important because we're creating, we're not just following, we're creating. So it's important for you guys to participate by asking questions and also doing your own research. I want to thank you, Tam. It's bittersweet.
Thank you.
This is the end.
Yes, bittersweet. We got one more day tomorrow, right? We have Thursday. That's our closeout session. So tell us what we're looking forward to happen on Table Talk, our final Table Talk Thursday.
Yeah, our final Table Talk Thursday. Wow, you're looking forward to, some more women that we're going to tap into this space. We have a big surprise, and we're very excited and hoping that she's able to join us. But we do have her scheduled, as well as the final closing from all the committee members to come here, maybe dance out the event. I just want to thank all of y'all, and we want y'all to tap in and stay tuned because we have some things for you there. But Tam, I want you to have the final word. Yeah, go ahead and close us out with your final word.
Okay. Final word is I just want to thank all of the sponsors, Block, Hero, Copper Seed Safe, Defendacy. Thank you all for understanding and seeing the value of supporting this event. I want to thank all the speakers that took the time out of their busy schedules to come through and really give me what I felt like was my personal education in this space on Wednesday, but really providing it for everyone. I really just want to thank them all and encourage them all to continue to create because we're out here, those of us who are learning, we are hungry for the things that they're creating, and thank them again for coming through. I want to thank all of the audience members who come up and show up on Wednesdays, knowing that we're going to have some good debate. We're going to talk about some great topics. You're going to learn something. So I want to thank you all for tapping in and staying connected through Discord. And I just want to thank you for your encouragement of me. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to you again, Yinka, because none of this is your brainchild. And I'm just so happy to be here alongside you, making everything happen that we made happen through these past 30 days. So thank you guys again, and look forward to seeing more from me. Connect with me. I'm Fitz Financial, HTX on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and then I'm Fitz Finance HTX on Twitter. So I will be, and I'm also in the Discord. You can just look for me in the Discord. Everybody's saying my name at some point, so you can find me in our Discord as well. That's it. And bye.